Hello, there are several interpersonal communication concepts as demonstrated in the film Good Will Hunting. That is the film I'm covering today. There are three main points that I want to do with the concepts, and that is self disclosure, perception of others, and listening. We're going to get back to that. This film it came out December 5th, 1997, and it made over 225 million during its run. It had a $10 million budget only. So to make that much is like mind blowing. One of the most interesting facts I found was Robin Williams accepted the job for only $5 million, and usually he doesn't accept it for like $20 million or less. When asked why he made this movie without accepting that. He said, "Hey, they would have made it without me. It was good. It was too good not to be made." And also Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were kind of unknown actors at the time, but it's kind of risky for a director to take, but they all took it on. Um, Tickets sold really good. Other actors in the movie, Robin Williams portrayed Sean McGuire. Matt Damon was Will Hunting. Bill Affleck was Chucky Sullivan, one of Will's best friends. Cole Hauser, Billy McBride, another best friend. Minnie Driver was the girl that was romantically involved as the movie went on with Matt Damon, Will Hunting. Her name was Skylar. And then the professor, Gerald LeBeau, was Stellan Skarsgård. He played a big impact as well as a really good actor. One of my favorite quotes from this movie that Robin Williams made Sean McGuire was that you're not perfect. He said this to Will. Sorry. You're not perfect, sport. Let me save you the suspense. This girl you've met, she's not perfect either. But the question is whether you're perfect for each other. It's very well put. This film began South Boston, kind of impoverished area, and Will is somebody that hasn't really kept a job, hasn't really romantically been involved with somebody long term. He's a genius level IQ, and he is working as a janitor at MIT. He was abused child, and subconsciously he kind of blames himself for that upbringing. And he is at the college, and he solved this big math problem on this chalkboard. And then professor comes in, he noticed it, he thought he was vandalizing his chalkboard. He chases him away, later comes back, and then he wants to figure out who he is. During this time, Will beats up a police officer that was like a bully to him back in the day. Once the professor finds out where he's at, he's actually going to be in trial. So he goes there to intervene on his behalf and offer him, as the professor, as a choice, instead of Will going to jail, that he be released underneath his personal supervision where he can study and also see a therapist to help him through his anger and his defensive personality. Um, and Will does not want to go to jail, but he also is like, hey, I better do this. He went through five therapists before Sean came in the picture. It's just part of who Will is. He's very hostile, sarcastic, and Sean McGuire, Robin Williams is able to get past this and like relate to him and get some sort of conversation out of him and make that interaction, which is great. One of the things that he covered personally was, well, he covered lots of personal things, and that was the Red Sox game, 1950 75 World Series. He's going play by play, and then Sean was like, "Well, I wasn't there." And he's like, "What do you mean you're there? You just give me the play by play." He's like, "No, I was sitting at the bar with a stranger and just spending time and just met him, and later on became his wife." So he's encouraged to go and establish care with somebody relationship wise, and it ends up he does meet somebody, Skylar, at a Harvard bar. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie is his friend went up to some girls there, and was trying to say, "Hey, I knew you from a history class at Harvard." And they're kind of playing along with it. They kind of know, but they're very nice about it. And then this young man comes up and is like, "Well, what history class? Maybe I was in it too." And starts spurting stuff off. And that's when Will, his best friend, is like, "I gotta come in and be the wingman here and save him." And finishes this big quote from the book. And then it's like, "Oh, you must be a first grade grad. And when are you going to start learning for yourself and these concepts?" And um, he's like, "Well, I'll have a law degree or a degree by the end of it. What will you have? Nothing. You'll be serving my kids fries and fast food and stuff." And Will's like, "Well, you'll just maybe get this degree and then be in debt and 50 years later finally think for yourself and I won't be a prick," type of deal. It was funny. It was a good quote. And then he impresses the gals, he gets Skylar's number and they romantically get involved, which is great. I like that. So we kind of talked about some of these kind of quick stats from the movie and kind of briefed you on it. So as the movie goes on, at the end of the movie, he's kind of got some decisions and opportunities. The professor is very happy with where Will's going, offered him a job opportunity, and then Skylar's moving to a different college and kind of has a decision of where to go. He's got all these options and stuff. So, um, the main concept I want to talk about first is self disclosure. It's a process of passing on information about yourself to somebody else. So that goes back to those therapy sessions with the Red Hot Sox game and stuff. And this happens throughout the whole movie between Matt Damon and Sean McGuire. And then perception of others, the different views or impressions we form of others based on social behaviors and interaction. So Will Hunting, working as a janitor, solved this big math problem. The professor is coming in. He's like thinking he vandalized it. So that one's a very good perception of others and the view and stuff we have of others. Listening. That's the next one we're going to touch base in the final one. Taking information in, the brain is gathering, it's translating, it's recalling, it's evaluating, and then it has to respond to verbal and nonverbal messages. So this is one option. There's so many, but Will's best friend Chucky wants Will. He wants him to listen. He wants him not to waste his life being a labor worker like him in South Boston. He wants him to take charge of his life. His one wish is to knock on the door and Will to pick Will up in the morning for work, and he doesn't answer or say goodbye. So at the end of the movie, Will just does that. It's great. So, conclusion to this is that there are many of these concepts in films that we watch. We just have to look for them. And I hope in the future we all notice these kind of concepts that we have learned throughout the semester for future ones. Thanks.